Good evening. Welcome to the City Council regular meeting for the date of March the 11th, 2014. And this meeting is dedicated in honor of our ex-mayor Petra Prida, who gave her services to the city of Hawaiian Gardens how many years? 8 years. 99 to 2000. And also, I'll just let the public know that they're going to have the Mass Saturday, March the 15th, this coming Saturday at 11 o'clock. And at St. Peter's, Chanel. And the reception will be here in Hawaiian Gardens. And it'll probably be around 1 o'clock, 12:30 to 1 o'clock. And so we'll continue. We'll have the YAL lead us to the flag salute. Are they here?
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father God, we do humbly come before you tonight. We thank you for our young people that are here tonight. We thank you for councils, past, present, and the future councils that will make it an imperative that our youth are trained in what they need to learn to be good adults. We thank you that the funding is there for that. And we thank you for the leaders of all the teens and the young people we have in this city, that they give them of themselves above and beyond what is required of them. But Father, in a different vein, we are going to ask a special blessing on the Prida family tonight of the loss of our beautiful, beautiful Petra. What a joy it was to know her and to see how she worked in this community and how she loved the people. They're going to go through a hard time, and Father, I just ask that you keep your loving arms around them and you watch care over them, because she touched a lot of lives here in this community. And Father, we had another family member whose son passed yesterday. Lynn Jones, our Parks and Recreation Commissioner, lost her son at the age of 50. And Father, we just ask that you touch her tonight. Just let her know that you're in control of what's going on. You see these things before we do, and we know that you love us and you're never going to leave us. And Father, we just praise your holy name, that you're there for us no matter where we are in this world. You are there for us. And once again, we just thank you for this council. We thank you for the dedication of the members, and we just ask that you be with them as they discuss the business of the city. We ask in thy precious holy name. Amen.
Turn off my cell phone. Presentations or roll call?
Yes. Councilmember Director Rios.
Present.
Councilmember Director Farfan.
Here.
Councilmember Director Gomez.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Vice Chairmember Bruce.
Here.
Mayor Chairmember Rodriguez.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Presentations and proclamations. We have two. Presentation of a proclamation to the American Red Cross proclaiming March 2014 as American Red Cross Awareness Month. And our representative for the Red Cross is Lisa Harris. Oh, there we go. There. proclamation. Whereas since 1943, that was the year I was born, the President of the United States has proclaimed March as Red Cross Month. And whereas the American Red Cross is the only organization chartered by the United States Congress to provide disaster relief, assistance services from home fires to major floods, tornadoes, and other acts of nature. And whereas the Red Cross encourages individuals, families, and businesses to prepare themselves for disasters by getting an emergency kit, making a plan, and being informed throughout preparedness, education classes. And whereas the Greater Long Beach chapter has served the Hawaiian Gardens area for several years, providing disaster services, health and safety training, disaster preparedness training, emergency services to the armed forces, and utility assistance to the elderly and disabled. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Reynaldo Rodriguez, and the City of Hawaiian Gardens City Council proclaim March 2014 as American Red Cross Month, and urge the citizens of Hawaiian Gardens to recognize the past and ongoing contribution to the American Red Cross and give their support generously to the Greater Long Beach area chapter. I would like to add also that when I was in the military, the Red Cross was very helpful to any soldier out there, and they used them a lot. So, you go ahead and thank you very much.
We just wanted to thank the Hawaiian Gardens for your partnership with the volunteers that come to our chapter. There's many different activities within the Red Cross that you might find interest in. We have the Veterans History Project, where we are the only chapter in the United States that has close to just under 400 interviews with our veterans, and that will be turned over, or have been turned over, to the Library of Congress. So if you know somebody that has served in any arena and they're interested in telling their story, we would love for them to come by the Long Beach chapter of the American Red Cross and set up an interview time if possible. And the contact for that is Mike Farrar at that particular chapter. If you can share that information with your neighbors. Most importantly, also with Red Cross Month, is go home and at least talk at the kitchen table about a plan. We happen to live in the most beautiful state, I think, in the nation, and that offers a lot of responsibility that comes with that, mostly within your disaster preparedness plan. And call us up, and we're there for you anytime, and if you have any questions, we're there for you. Thank you.
Proclamation, whereas the City Council of the City of Hawaiian Gardens wishes to declare the month of March 2014 as Safe Community Month. And who do we have as Representative Sargent? Sargent. Whereas the vitality of the City of Hawaiian Gardens depends on how safe we keep our home, neighborhoods, workplaces, and communities. And whereas crime, fear diminish our trust in others and in our institutions, threatening the community's health and prosperity. And whereas people of all ages must be made aware of what they can do to prevent themselves, their families, neighbors, and co-workers from being harmed by drugs, violence, and other crimes. And whereas people of all ages must unite the elements of the community in creating a safe, healthy, crime-free environment through a series of community-based programs, and is where the major focus of this long-term commitment is to make a positive difference for our community by educating our youth and adults, by providing positive alternatives and role models for children, and by unifying the support of our local community, including schools, businesses, religious organizations, service clubs, law enforcement agencies, and county government. Now therefore, be it proclaimed, I, Mayor Reinaldo Rodriguez, in the City of Hawaiian Gardens, on this 11th day of March 2014, do hereby proclaim March 2014 as Safe Community Month in the City of Hawaiian Gardens, and urge all citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, and all businesses to increase the participation in our community's crime prevention effort, and thereby building more productive communities and improving the quality of life for all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. I accept this award on behalf of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and also the deputies that work the city. We're here for you. We're proud to work the city, and we hope that we can have a little more of a better relationship between ourselves and the residents of this community. Thank you.
Now, we have a presentation from the Youth Activity League, the YAL, regarding anti-bullying.
Welcome, everybody. Good evening. My name is Raylene Ugalde.
My name is George Marquez.
I would like to thank the mayor and the city council for giving us this time to do the bullyism presentation. What is a bully? Well, a bully is someone who picks on a weaker person. Also uses intimidation to get what they want. Can be verbal or physical. For example, verbal by saying hurtful things. Physical by fist fighting or pushing.
What bullying can cause? It can cause depression and anxiety, increased feelings of sadness and loneliness, change in sleep and eating patterns, loss of interest in activities they used to enjoy. It can also cause health complaints. Bullies can make students lose focus in school so their GPA or test score drops. In school, bullies can make students lose interest in school so they miss, skip, or even drop off of school. The biggest thing that bullies can make students do is to commit suicide.
Where can bullying happen? Bullying can happen anywhere. It can happen online, for example, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and others. My personal one, well, once I got bullied on Facebook, they posted a picture of me and was saying hurtful things. Also, it can happen at school, during class, or at lunch. I also got bullied at school. A couple other students had said hurtful things.
Example for home bullying is name calling or playing rough with your brothers. For a personal experience for street bullying is when I was younger, I used to live in the city of Los Angeles, and a group of 5 people approached me, and he threatened me to empty out my pockets and drop my backpack, and they robbed me. And then, they called the cops, and I got my stuff back. Well, that's an example of street bullying. How to prevent being a target: pay attention. If you know the bully, walk away from him. Don't ignore it. Deal with the student one-on-one. Tell the bully how you feel. And tell an adult if you have to.
What to do if you witness the bullying. Avoid joining in or laughing. Tell bully to stop or try to get help. Here are some stats on bullying. Every 7 minutes, a student is being bullied on the playground. 77% of the students are bullied mentally, verbally, or physically. 3 million students are absent each month because they feel unsafe at school. Also, bullying is the most common form of violence. Between 15% and 30% of students are bullied online. 22% of students know someone who has been bullied online. Over 14% of high school students are considered suicide, and almost 7% had committed it.
Over 3.2 million students are victims of bullying each year. 90% of 4th through 8th grade reports being victims of bullying. 1 out of 5 admits to being a bully or doing something bullying. About 35% of kids have been threatened online. 22% of students know someone who has been bullied online. The golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated.
Thank you for giving this time to do the presentation. I really appreciate it. Well, I have a couple of other announcements. Celebrate safety and education at these fun-filled events. Wednesday, March 19th, it will be at Clarkdale, 3 p.m. to 5 a.m. Also, come experience the Shaky Earthquake Vehicle, which simulates a real live earthquake. Then stay for a great tip to ensure you and your family will be sure and ready for the next earthquake. It will be Wednesday, March 26th at Leeware, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Come and join the Lakewood YAL in welcoming the professional skateboarder Preston Pollard. The date and time, March 17, 2004, 3:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Now we will go into oral communications, items on and not on the agenda. This is the time reserved for members of the public wishing to speak on items on and not on the agenda, except for public hearing items. This period will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Maximum time allocated is 15 minutes. Upon conclusion of oral communication, the city council or city staff, at the direction of the mayor, may respond to any questions or statements that were presented by members of the public. The city council is prohibited by law from discussing or taking any action on items presented during oral communications. They are not on the agenda. Do we have any resident members?
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. I'm just here to report, a while back, we were trying to get a area to teach the search class. We did get it from the help from the Human Services Department. We have the class dates, if you want to write them down. The class for the search training, the Community Emergency Response Team, is for May 10th, 17th, and 24th, and that's all Saturdays. All 3 Saturdays are a must to show up in order to get certified and get your certificate for training. The LA County Fire Department is continuing the emergency education, and since it is Community Safety Month all this month, and we're going to continue on hoping that more people sign up. There is applications out at front on the counter in the lobby if people are interested to sign up. This is co-sponsored by the City of Hawaiian Gardens and the Celebration Christian Center. Okay, any questions? If not, that's it. I have already given the city clerk the packets for you guys.
Yeah, you should say the time for people watching on cable.
Yes, I will. The times are registering the first day from 8:30 to 9, and then all other days from 9 to 5, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
Good evening. My name is Karen Kavanaugh. I'm here from the Hawaiian Gardens Public Library to announce some upcoming programs. Our first is our March Teen Program will be tomorrow, Wednesday, March 12th, from 4 to 5:30 p.m. It is Teen Tech Week this week, and so we will be using the Teen Tech Week theme, which is do-it-yourself. And so we'll have a couple different do-it-yourself projects they can come make and take with them. All materials will be provided, and it's for students in grades 6 through 12. At the end of the month, Saturday, March 29th, from 2 to 3 p.m., we'll be having a science story time. So all of the stories we'll be doing will be science-based, and we'll be having a hands-on science activity for the kids to do. And although it's a little bit more in the future, I just wanted to give notice that the April Teen Program, the date has been changed. It was initially on Wednesday, April 2nd. It's going to be moved to Wednesday, April 9th, and that is the Wearable Poetry Program that we're going to be having for teens. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Nidia Mateos, vivo en esta hermosa y bendecida ciudad de Hawaiian Gardens y solamente quisiera poner a su servicio y al servicio de la comunidad, nosotros en la iglesia Palabra de Vida, que está frente a la estación de los bomberos, está acerca hablando de lo del gang injection la vez pasada. Nosotros estamos también a su servicio para ayudar a los jóvenes que necesiten cualquier tipo de ayuda. Años anteriores, cuando yo tenía una clase bíblica con los muchachos, les firmábamos su carta de probation para sus horas comunitarias, así es de que estamos para servirles en la Norwalk Boulevard, frente a la estación de los bomberos, a todo aquel joven o familia que necesite ayuda. Con mucho gusto estamos dispuestos a ayudarles. Gracias y Dios bendiga Hawaiian Gardens.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. Her name is Nidia Mateos, and she lives in the beautiful and blessed city of Hawaiian Gardens. And she also just wanted to let everybody know that that her and the church Palabra de Vida, Word of Life, which is across the street from the fire department on Norwalk, is also available for any services to help out either the youth or their family. Any type of help. She says that previously they had conducted, she was conducting Bible studies there, and it was to reach out to the community, and anyone who needs to have, that may be on probation, that needs community hours, that they can provide that type of service there. So she invites everyone to please come and visit them. They're on Norwalk and across the street from the fire department, and the youth and their families are invited. She is, and they will be glad to assist anybody and be of service to anybody. And God bless Hawaiian Gardens.
Any more? I guess not. Well, now is the time for the city council to comment on the public's comments.
Not necessarily comments about the speakers, but just acknowledging former Mayor Prita's husband, who's in the audience, to give my condolences to his whole family. It was very sad for me to hear the passing, but know that the city is with you, and although I did not work with her directly at the time that she was on council, anyone who serves our city is thanked, and so I take a moment to acknowledge her and thank her for all your service and you being here. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying that all of us are saddened by the loss of Petra, and we know Bob was such a devoted husband, and they were such a great couple, and I just wish Bob the best, and we know that Petra's waiting for him to join us.
Yeah, I would like to echo that, Bob, and God bless you, and God bless your family as you go through this difficult time, losing somebody so special to you and to the city. I also want to thank YAL Group. I guess they all left, but I think that's neat when we have young people come up and make presentations like that. It informs the council, actually, in a very brief way. It also informs the public, and I thought it was well presented.
Thank you. Now we'll go into the agenda organization. This is the time for the city council members to discuss any changes in the order of the agenda items. Do we have any?
Yeah, I'd like to request that we have the agenda item for the appointing of the new commissioners. If we could possibly move that up, since we have members here waiting, and so it's taking the time to be here tonight.
Okay.
That's item C6.
Any more? So we'll go into the item C6 then. Consideration of appointments and reappointments to the Planning Commission, Public Safety Commission, and Parks and Recreation Commission. Do we have a staff report?
Yes, thank you, sir. Yes, the terms on various commissions have expired or are due to expire. Recently, Mayor Rodriguez requested that all commissioners be contacted and asked to submit letters of interest if they would like to continue on the commissions. 2 commissioners sent letters of resignation from the Planning Commission. They were Tony Garcia and John Murray, which now leaves 3 vacancies on the Planning Commission. There are also 2 vacancies on the Parks and Recreation Commission. The vacancies have been advertised in the city's website and verbally announced at the city council meetings. City clerk's office received 2 letters of interest from residents. One was for the Planning Commission, one was for Parks and Recreation. At this time, Mayor Rodriguez wishes to appoint 2 applicants to fill vacancies, move 1 safety commissioner to Parks and Recreation Commission, and reappoint commissioners who wish to continue their service. The 2 commission applicants are for the Planning Commission, Sammy So, whose term would expire in March 2016. Recreation Commission would be Emmanuel Rodriguez. His term would expire in March of 2016. Planning Commission reappointments Planning Commission reappointments would be Priscilla Kwan, whose term would expire March 2018, and Grant Winford, whose term would expire in 2018 also. Parks and Recreation Commission reappointments would be Lynn Jones, March 2016, Mary Salcido, March 2018, Juan Gonzalez, March 2018, and Carmen Hernandez, March 2018, who would be moving from the Public Safety Commission. Public Safety Commission reappointments would be Valerie Mason, March 2018, Mario Rico, March 2016, Pedro Amaro, March 2015, Lizette Mendoza, March 2015. The fiscal impact to the city is minimal, as each commissioner will receive a stipend of $75 per meeting. Funds have been allocated in the current budget for fiscal year 2013-14. Recommendation is to approve by consensus Mayor Rodriguez's appointments as presented, pending approvals of background checks to the new commissioners. So the new commissioners would be Mr. So and Mr. Rodriguez would have to have a background check before they could be sworn in. And if the appointments are approved, there will still be 2 vacant positions on the Planning Commission and 1 vacant position on the Public Safety Commission. And I did not receive any other applicants for either positions. And like I said, it's been announced several times here at City Hall, and it's on our website and in the paper in the past. And this is where we are. Thank you.
Do we have any discussions from the City Council on these appointments?
I would just say that the reappointed candidates always have served the city well. I mean, it's just tough to find, as Sue mentioned, people who want to devote time to help out, and they have, have done a tremendous job. Especially, I have to point out the Public Safety Commission has brought many things before us that we were not aware of. So these commissions do serve a purpose, and I guess you're asking for a consensus. I'm for your recommendation.
Sue, does that mean that there's still 2 planning commission spots available and 1 public safety, so that if somebody in the community was still interested, even though the application deadline is up, could they still apply?
Absolutely.
All right.
I've had 2 calls for the planning, 1 for the Planning Commission and 1 for the safety. I told them they need to send letters of interest, and then they'll go to the mayor and the council.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. This is a staff report. Do we need a motion to
Do it just consensus, right?
Motion carries. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Unanimous.
Since I know that the commissioners, or some of them, are in the audience, if they would take a moment and introduce themselves, would that be appropriate?
Good idea.
Well, I see Priscilla. Priscilla's one. And,
there's a new one here.
Oh, that's a new one. Oh.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor, and City staff. My name is Emmanuel Rodriguez. I've been a resident of Hawaiian Gardens for the last 11 years. I am happy to contribute any knowledge with my past 10 years in Park and Recs. Any help to what is already a good rec program you guys have, and just gaining some knowledge from what goes on in commissions would benefit me. So I am happy to be a part of the Parks and Rec Commission. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor Hernandez. I want to thank you for reappointing me to this position again. My name is Valerie Mason, and I feel very honored to be part of this intricate public safety group. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Carmen Hernandez, and I was on public safety, and now I'll be in the Parks and Recreation.
Thank you.
My name is Mary Salcedo. I'm Park and Recreation Commissioner, and thank you for having me back.
Thank you.
I'm Lizette Mendoza. I'm on the Public Safety Commission, and I'm glad to be back. Thank you.
Thank you. We forgot one. Priscilla, step up.
Slow moving. Oh, there's 2 more.
Well, my name is Priscilla Kwan. I've been living in this city for the past 20 years, and as I sent my resume already, and thank you for reappointing me. You're going to see me around, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Sammy So, and this is my first year in the city, and I'm glad to be here. So I'm looking forward to working with everybody and the community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Now we'll go to public hearings. Item A1, conduct public hearing and adopt urgency ordinance number 55U to extend a moratorium for 10 months and 15 days on the approval and establishment of any smoke shops, electronic cigarettes, e-cigarettes, retailers, or drug paraphernalia retailer pursuant to California Government Code Section 65858. Staff report.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, if you recall back in January 28, 2014, you adopted ordinance number 552U, which is an urgency measure, adopting a moratorium to prohibit the establishment of any new smoke shops, electronic cigarette sales, or drug paraphernalia, smoke shops, etc. And just to clarify the prohibition, this only applied to areas where there was a greater concentration of more than 20% of the floor space. So if it's less, it would not apply to those establishments or uses. Government code basically allows a 45-day moratorium to do some research and do any necessary studies. Obviously, the 45 days is not enough. The code allows all the way up to 2 years, but you got to do them in increments. So you get the initial 45 days, then you can extend it for 10 months, 15 days. That gives you the first year. And then if that's still not enough, you can ask for an additional year. So for a total of 2 years, in order to approve that, they are public hearings. It does require 4/5 vote. And obviously the concern there is that it is a health and safety concern, and we're not sure what type of an impact this poses to the community. So the city will have to conduct some type of study to determine what impacts, if any, would be contributing to our community. So urgency ordinance number 55U is before you now.
Okay, I'll make a motion to open public hearing.
I'll second that motion.
The public hearing is now open. Does anybody in the audience wishes to comment on this ordinance?
See none, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
I'll second it.
Okay, the motion is closed. Ordinance. Public hearing is closed. Do we have any comments from the City Council?
I think what we've discussed when we first approved the first part of the moratorium is the main thing was there's just no definitive answer on the effect of these e-cigarettes health-wise, if they are detrimental or not, and so that's why we voted originally to have a moratorium. So I would think that nothing has changed since then, other than I would like to know what would be the process to us finding that out. How would the staff go about gathering that information as to how these cigarettes could possibly be harmful or not to the people who use them?
That's why we have the moratorium, is that we need to conduct any studies or research. It's not that we're actually going to be studying e-cigarettes themselves. We're going to be relying on third-party studies. We also may be looking at what the state may be doing, what other communities are doing. So it's a process that we need to go through. As you know, there was some previous legislation that the state was considering, but I think that's kind of in limbo right now. So there may be something that may be happening at the state level that may just apply to all communities. So at this point, we're just adopting this moratorium to temporarily prohibit the establishment of any new facilities. What's already been approved is already out there and permitted, and they have a license. And again, the threshold is 20%. So if it's a store like a liquor store and they're just selling some e-cigarettes on the front counter or something like that, it's an allowed use, the way this ordinance is written.
Okay. All right, thank you. I'll make a motion to approve based on that information.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, unanimous.
You need to
Oh,
read.
yes,
Thank you.
please.
Okay. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hawaiian Gardens, County of Los Angeles, State of California, extending a moratorium for 10 months and 15 days on the approval and establishment of any smoke shop, electronic cigarette retailer, or drug paraphernalia retailer pursuant to California Government Code Section 65858.
Thank you. Ordinance B1, conduct second hearing and adopt ordinance number 553 to amend subdivision F of section 9.66.030 of chapter 9.66 of Title 9 of the Hawaiian Gardens Municipal Code regulating massage parlors. This item continued from February the 25th, 2014 meeting. We have
Yes, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council, before you is ordinance number 553, which basically attempts to regulate massage parlors in terms of their hours of operation. The current code regulates them between 8:30 a.m. and 10 o'clock p.m. You had previously discussed this at the prior council meeting where you had considered amending the proposed ordinance, which was suggested at 8:30 to 10, and you had recommended that perhaps we would go from 8:30 to 8 o'clock p.m., and that's what's before you here tonight, and this is for final adoption. If adopted tonight, it would take 30 days for it to go in effect.
Is this a public hearing also? No. Do we have any comments from the City Council on this ordinance? If not, then do we have a motion to adopt ordinance number 553?
Make the motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hawaiian Gardens, County of Los Angeles, State of California, amending subdivision F of section 9.66.030 of chapter 9.66 of Title 9 of the Hawaiian Gardens Municipal Code regulating massage parlors.
Consent calendar. Items listed on the consent calendar are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion and one vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item may be removed from the consent calendar and will be considered separately. Do we have any items that you wish to pull? If none, do we have to, do we have a motion to accept?
I'll make that motion.
The entire, this is a first.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Motion carries, unanimous.
If you would, could I just add that because it had been publicized earlier what the parade route was going to be, so we just approved to return the parade route to its original design, where it starts at Ferry, goes. I'm sorry, at Ferry Middle School goes east to North Boulevard off of 214th Street, and south to Carson, and then west on Carson to where the library is, and down up Saint to the parade, so people can line up right there and not, on another street and miss the parade.
Oh, so the rerouting of the traffic is going to be towards Centralia because 226 will be closed also, won't it? Okay.
Hold on, Steve can clarify that.
226 actually, Mr. Mayor, 226th is open.
Oh, 226 is open.
Yes. A portion of 223rd Street will be closed. So typically on the south end, we deter them to 226th Street, and on the northern section, we refer them to Centralia.
All right, thank you.
And this new parade route will be in the community newsletter? Did it make it?
We will make every effort to include it. I have to double check with staff.
Okay.
They were still working on the newsletter this Friday, so.
Okay. And businesses will be notified, right?
So we're going to discussion items. I see none. New business. Oral staff report. Oh, we do have a closed session, but we can skip it and go to oral staff reports.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, just an update regarding the Parade and Carnival. We have confirmation on 2 Grand Marshals. Serving as our Community Grand Marshal will be Dr. Mary Sue, the ABC Unified School District Superintendent. And we also received confirmation from the Chief of the Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians, Chief Ernest Salas, will be joining us at the parade. Also, we have received just over $6,000 to date in sponsorships, and we are optimistic that we should be receiving additional funding in the next few weeks leading up to the actual event. Pre-sale tickets are actually currently on sale at City Hall, as well as from some of our local nonprofit organizations that are selling pre-sale tickets. We will have 8 vendor food booths at the carnival. Again, our local nonprofit organizations, they use it as a main source of revenue for their organizations. The carnival is scheduled to begin on Friday, April 4th, and operate Friday, Saturday, and Sunday through April 6th. The parade is on Saturday, April 5th at 11 a.m., as was discussed earlier, beginning at Ferry Academy. Also this afternoon, staff provided all of you with a memorandum as well as parking passes for the event. Should you have any questions, please feel free to contact our office.
What is the discount by buy-in from our nonprofits?
The pre-sale tickets, I believe you save $10 if you buy them per sheet. Yes.
Per sheet.
Yes.
Okay. What about the bands? Are they going to be selling any wristbands?
No, sir. There won't be bands available this year.
Okay. Thank you.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, the representative from the Red Cross wanted me to let everybody know, her name was Lisa Harris, that the Red Cross also provides various free mobile apps that are good to download on your smartphones. For example, there are apps for first aid, pet first aid, earthquake, wildfire, tornadoes, hurricanes, swimming, Team Red Cross, and another one for Shelter View, which is if there's an emergency in the area, the app includes the information on where that shelter is within an hour of the time that the shelter gets opened and set up. So she wanted me to make sure that she let the council and the public know. There are flyers outside in our lobby area, and also among the flyers are emergency contacts. She said that it's very important for people to carry emergency contact information with them at all times, and then there's information and flyers on that as well. But she really encourages everyone to visit the Red Cross site, and I'm not seeing the website is www.redcross.org. And they'll be able to find all kinds of additional information on earthquake preparedness and additional first aid stuff, and all the applications are free for Androids and iPhones. Thank you.
Thank you. Oral council reports.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll go ahead and begin. First of all, I'd like to start with some exciting news. I'm extremely excited to announce that due to a lawsuit settlement on November 19th of 2013, the ABC School Board of Education voted to approve changing from an at-large board election to a trustee area election system. 7 trustee areas will be created for the 2015 board election. Public input is requested on the proposal trustee area maps. Dr. Jean Gobele of Demographic Research, Inc. will be facilitating the public meetings along with the ABC Superintendent, Dr. Mary Sue. And there are 3 meetings scheduled. One will be March 20th, 2014 at Carmenita Middle School, March 26th, 2014 at Ross Middle School, and we will have our own meeting March 28th at 2014 here at Ferry Middle School from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. And this is extremely important because this means that Hawaiian Gardens will receive its own board member, or that is the goal. And so at this meeting, it's very important that the public attend and give its input in terms of what these area maps should look like. So I'm extremely happy that this process is moving forward, and we will go ahead and have representation from Hawaiian Gardens directly on the board.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I just I want to thank Mariana for mentioning that. It's very important for the community. As you know, we as a city council supported this change of the election process, and Mariana was part of the lawsuit. So, you know, it's important to all of us that what this doesn't mean that we're degrading the school district at all. What we're saying is we want to be able to have participation, and that's what this is all about. So as you said, we encourage everybody to come to these meetings and have input on how these boundaries are drawn. And also I'd like to mention, I attended the Neighborhood Watch meeting last week, or 2 weeks ago, and the speakers were, actually we were introduced to the new Special Assignment Officer for the city, Pablo Suarez, and he comes from another city, and he's worked, it seems like like he's very concerned about what goes on in the community, both him and the deputy, and I always mess up his name, please, Landeros. They conducted the meeting, and I was just impressed by the way they spoke to the community members there. They really made everybody feel like they cared. In fact, one community member spoke of a problem having some people jumping over her fence on a regular basis and scaring them, and hiding back there or something. She wasn't sure, and they offered to go to her house and inspect what the area she has there and give her advice on security, and also if this person, they told her if this person comes on a regular basis, we'll go back there and we'll sit there, wait for him to jump the fence, and we'll ask him what he wants. You know, so I mean that the community members felt so good to feel that from them. So I want to thank them and welcome Deputy Suarez. On March 6th, I attended the ABC School District State of the District luncheon, and the key point, there was 2 things. Dr. Sue mentioned that the state has a rating system, I guess, where they put the schools on honor rolls for the state. And in the ABC district, she mentioned there were 16 schools that made that honor roll. So again, we just want to be able to participate with the district. Also, I have to say, in her presentation, as seems to be the norm, when Dr. Smuts was there, he would always point out Hawaiian Gardens where he didn't point out other cities as being partners, and she did the same. In her PowerPoint, Hawaiian Gardens is the only city that she pointed out as being partners with them. She mentioned our Activate Hawaiian Gardens program partnership as one key thing, and that reminds me, just this past Friday, we had our part of the Activate Hawaiian Gardens classes for the parents at Hawaiian Elementary School. We had Channel 7 come down and talk to some of our parents about the classes. Unfortunately, it seems like this happened last year when we got word that there was going to be 4 TV crews coming to our class. That morning, they happened to elect a new pope, so they had other things to do. And it's a sad note, but again, there was other news agencies that said they were going to come, but then we had that accident where that police officer was killed, so they went to cover that. But this TV station, Channel 7, did come down. I haven't seen their report, but I heard it was very good. And lastly, last week on the rainy Saturday, again 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, we had the opening for the Little League program. And we had it in the gymnasium because the fields are wet, and I think it was great. There's 13 teams, and that means 13 sets of volunteer coaches, and I emphasize volunteers because these are community members, fathers, uncles, older brothers, and mothers who are out there volunteering their time to give to these kids in the community. So it's great to see them, and for me, it's great to be among them, not as a council member, but just as a fellow volunteer, and get to know them. And on a final note, one of them parents of the child on my team told me that this is one of the benefits of just this volunteering. I mean, it's so great that this little 5-year-old boy watches our council meetings and always points to the TV when they show my mug on there. There's Coach Gomez. So I'm going to say, Jacob Rodriguez, hi. I'll see you at our game tomorrow. Thank you.
I just wanted to add a welcome to all the new deputies. I also attended the Neighborhood Watch meeting. So it's great to see new faces in the community and just a different perspective that they'll bring into our community in regards to helping out the fellow community members and fighting crime. So I just wanted to welcome them personally as well. And I also attended the Little League opening day. Just want to extend my gratitude to all the volunteers, as Mike was saying. It's critical. A program like this would not exist without volunteers. And I believe, did you guys say it's over 200 kids that are in the program? Close to 200 kids in our community. And it's a great program, and I'm sure they'll do well. Last year they did really well, and we'll continue that progress. So thank you.
Yeah, it was great. Even though we had rain, still had a really good program and saw those little, not old little kids. Some of them were big kids on Little League. So it was a good time for everyone. Also look forward to meeting the new deputies. We can schedule a time, hopefully, to meet with them. Oh, they're going to be here at the meeting. Good. Welcome, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you. On the Little League, we keep forgetting to thank Frank Amaro, he is the president of the Little League, who does an outstanding job with those 200 kids. So we want to thank him. So now we shall go to the successor agency, RDA. And we'll go to the agenda organization. This is the time for the agency board to discuss any changes in the order of the agenda items. Do we have any changes? If not, we'll continue. Public hearings, none. Consent calendar. Items listed on the consent calendar are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion and one vote. There will be no separate discussion on these items. If discussion is desired, that it may be removed from the consent calendar and it will be considered separately.
Say none, I'll move to approve in its entirety.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. Agency action. approve the minutes. Well, that's been part of the discussion items. New business. Oral staff report. Oral agency reports. So we adjourn the successor agency RDA regular meeting, and we'll go into closed session on item F1, conference with labor negotiation, government code 54957-.6. Okay, we're back from closed session. No reportable action. So we should adjourn until March the 25th, 2014 at 6 p.m.